Hello everyone, this niche is on the side of the St. Mary of Jesus Church in Valletta, commonly known as Ta Gesù Church. I see people walking past this niche all the time, they don't even look at it. I'm here to tell you that it's got a dark history because the man who carved this niche was convicted of murder, hanged and then chopped up. But he claimed the whole time that he was innocent of his convicted crime. The man was Giovanni Vito. He was about 42 and from Calabria in Italy. He worked as a bonavoglia, someone who chose to become a rower on a galley ship in return for payment, and people usually did this to pay off debts. In 1760, Giovanni was convicted of murdering another bonavoglia. He admitted to the killing, but only after long sessions of torture, and he later withdrew that confession when someone wasn't, doing horrible things to him. Nevertheless, Giovanni was sentenced to death as a result of this dodgy confession. But wait, how did Giovanni come to sculpt this niche? Well, he was also a stonemason and had even worked on sculptures in the Castellania, the old law courts of Valletta, the very place where he was later sentenced to death. Giovanni had a traumatic end to his life. He constantly pleaded his innocence, and many people, including the priests who looked after him in his cell, all believed he had not committed his crime. Giovanni was overheard praying on one of his last nights when he said, "God, you know I have not carried out this murder and that I am innocent. I will die because I deserve to, for the other sins I have committed." This guy's obviously had quite a colourful life. Giovanni was taken to the gallows at the front of Valletta, protesting his innocence all the way to the crowds. He gets on the gallows, calls out again that he didn't do the murder. This confuses the knight in charge of the execution, who doesn't give the order to the hangman. In the end, Giovanni nods to the hangman himself, telling him to get on with it. And that's how he is dropped from the gallows. And he still doesn't die because he's heard calling out the names of Jesus and the Virgin Mary for a few minutes afterwards, while he was still hanging, slowly being strangled to death. The Knights of St. John were really bad at executing people. Come on my Witchcraft and Blood in Birgu tour and I'll explain more about this. Eventually, Giovanni does die. He then has his head and limbs chopped off, and they're put on display at Fort St. Angelo, Sanglia Point, and the two slaves' prisons in Birgu and Sanglia. Poor guy. He must have been really cut up about it. Now, if you'd like to support me in making these videos, then you can. Just buy me a coffee. There's a link in the bio or caption, and any donation you make will fund the production costs of these videos. Thank you very much. For more tales of the terrible and stories of the strange, follow Dark Malta Toss.